Hey, Meghann, Scully, and this is the Limerick Post Show. Coming up in today's show, the big interview is with musician Paul Fahy, aka the Busker. First up, though, the top stories in Limerick, and the Pro 14 is back. Munster will take on Leinster in the Aviva Stadium on the 22nd of August. Keeping with sport, Limerick GAA TV Online are now selling season tickets, meaning you can watch all the games. You can read more about that online, limerickpost.ie. Next up, to our Out and About section, and Noel Hogan from the Cranberries was on Ireland AM as it was live from the Strand Hotel on Wednesday, and he spoke all about Dolores O'Riordan. First up, though, I head along to Colbert Station, where the European Expo 2020 have all the flags of the European Union on display, and I spoke to John Moran and some others involved about it. So we're here in the Colbert train station, where the European Expo display of all the flags is taking place inside. We're going to head in and chat to some of the people who are involved. I'm now joined by John Moran. Safe to say, no stranger to the Limerick Post Show. Great to see you again. And we're here for a very special event for the European Expo display of all the flags here in Colbert Station. This is a pretty powerful image.
Yeah, no, it's a super image. I mean, I remember when we asked the CIA first, or Irish Rail, would they look at doing something like this? I mean, it reminded me of all the flags we see in front of the European buildings all over Brussels and Luxembourg. And the idea was that when people arrive in the train to meet their friends from various countries in Europe, they look up and they see that there's a little bit of their country here as well. And that's a really powerful image of welcoming to the city. So I'm really delighted that CIA were able to do this for us.
Yeah, and I was going to say, what a great place. As you said, this is kind of the heart of the location where everyone first lands in, not just for Limerick, but for the surrounding areas as well. So to see this and I think to spot their own flag is a very warm welcome.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've done it so many times, right? You go there, you go to the United Nations, you go to Brussels.
Yeah.
The first thing you do is look for the Irish flag. And the same thing is going to happen. It's right up there. But what I reckon is going to happen now is the school tours can start coming here, and teachers can have like competitions to see if all the kids can recognise all the flags, which would be brilliant, right?
I tried to do that when I walked in. I was trying to guess which was which. It's like my geography teacher won't be too impressed with me. But I have to say, it's such a great event. And for European Expo, obviously things have changed because of the whole COVID situation. But it's great to be able to do something like this that's so powerfully visual as well.
Yeah, no, as you know, Cara has been brilliant. Has managed to turn so much online, gone into the Limerick Post itself with the kids thing, and really taught kids with it. And that was the huge challenge. Obviously, we're disappointed we couldn't have it this year. But we've agreed with the EIB that their collection is going to come at the beginning of next year. So we're kind of making it more like a school event now. It's running the academic year from 2020 to 21. And other things like the Wall of Belonging behind the museum, the People's Museum, that's firing ahead as well and still. And we've had such great events, and great support recently. I know I saw you at the Wild Geese event. Down in the raising of the flags to celebrate the Limerick people that went to France. And that's what this is all about. It's just about remembering our European heritage and celebrating it.
It's absolutely wonderful, and I look forward to the next few events that will be taking place. Thanks so much, John.
That'll be loads. Thanks a million for covering this one.
I'm now joined by Noreen, who's the district manager here, and what I have to say, a spectacular sight, walking in and seeing all those flags. The colours straight away, it just looks so good.
It does, really, when you enter the station. And people arrive here to Colbert Station. First of all, they meet the beautiful flowers out the front on the plaza. Then they enter and they see 27 flags on the rafters right over the concourse. And it's fantastic. It brings colour and it brings life into the station. It also brings a wonderful welcome to the many visitors that we're going to have coming to the station when it is safe to do so. And really all the staff here in the station, staff and myself, we're delighted to be involved and to support this initiative. I think it's a fantastic opportunity really to display all these EU flags and be on board with the European Expo.
I think as well because, Limerick as well is a very multicultural city, and I think coming in there if you're from a different country and you see your flag, it's something really welcoming about it and kind of exciting too when you spot maybe your home place.
That's right. Limerick is a vibrant city. I agree with you there. And we do have people, they come into Limerick for the first time. They may be going to Bunratty or out to Shannon or whatever, and then they just all of a sudden see these flags in front of them, and straight away they're asking the staff on the platform, what's this about? And they'd point out, oh, there's the French flag or there's the Irish flag. So it's fantastic. Really is.
No, it does. It looks absolutely incredible. Noreen, thanks so much for chatting for us today in the Limerick Post Show.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I'm now joined by Sasha, who works in the Limerick Council, and a very special day as well, and I believe you spotted your flag as soon as you walked in.
I did, yes. It took me a while to find it, but I did find it.
Tell us where you're originally from.
I'm from Slovenia.
And how do you find it living here in Limerick? Well, today actually is a glorious day.
Well, yeah, the weather was the most difficult thing to get used to, but everything else was very easy. I've been here 15 years, I think, yeah, something like that. And at first it was a bit difficult because it is slightly different, you know, but I felt very much at home very soon after arriving.
I have to say, something like the European Expo is so special because, as you see, just walking into the station there, all the wonderful flags, and to see all the flags up there together from all the different countries, it must be very special to be in Limerick and to see your flag like that.
It is very special, yeah. I think Limerick, when Slovenia was joining the European Union, there was a city, the Irish held the presidency of the EU at the time, and every city in Ireland had a country assigned, and Limerick had Slovenia. So it was always a connection. There was always a connection with Limerick, and I ended up here. So yeah, it's brilliant to see this, you know, a family of countries displayed like that.
Yeah, I have to say, it's so special, and European Expo now bringing everyone together. Sasha, I have to say, it's wonderful to chat to you, and we must head inside now again and look at those wonderful flags.
Thank you very much.
March, it's been, you know, just everything was shut down, and there's no sign of it ever coming back for the foreseeable future. So it's just, and there's a knock on with that. I guess it's not just the musicians. You obviously have their families. You have the people who work with them, with crew and things like that. So it's a massive industry really under there, because it takes a lot to get that person onto the stage. So it's been devastating to the music.
Bittersweet for you
very.
guys. I mean, to be over at the Grammys, it's surely the biggest stage for any musician, but to be there without Dolores, who is such a proud Limerick
Exactly,
person.
and you keep wondering that, well, what would she have made of this? You know, you keep every day you're kind of going, even doing interviews for it, you're like, how would she answer that? You know, you can't. She's like such a massive presence still in all our lives.
And a huge loss.
Yeah, yeah.
And how do you deal with that? How does the band deal with that?
Like, I mean, like everything, time is a great healer, as they say. I know it's a cliche, but it's actually true. And it's still kind of surreal. You know, you kind of don't believe it some days, but I mean, obviously we become more accepted to it, and it's kind of just you do what you can.
It's the Limerick Post Show with me, Meghann, Scully. We're here in the Glen Tavern, and I'm delighted to be joined by Paul Fahy, aka the Busker. How are you getting on?
Good, Meghann. Very
Now,
good.
I've seen you performing in here quite a few nights. You're no stranger to this place.
No. This is this has been an old regular of mine for years and years. Like, you know, so I'd be well known here, and I playing here a long time.
And do tell us about the Busker. Now, obviously, I know, you know, obviously something to do with busking, but why the Busker?
Well, I actually started, originally that's how I started off performing. I first picked up the guitar when I was just 16. After a couple of months, I used to come down busking into Cruiser Street just to get a little taste, and I think that's where I got my love of performing from. So years later then, I was in a band for about 10 years, and then when I went out on my own, I kind of needed a name or a kind of a trademark or something like that, so I just went with the Busker, because I just thought back to my roots, you know, so that's why that's where that name came out of. It's actually it's genuine. People think, oh, he never bust in his life, that fella, but I actually did for a long time, good couple of years.
But tell us all about then, maybe first picking up the guitar and getting into music. Like, what was it that kind of sparked that interest?
Jesus, I hope my parents aren't listening to this. I actually was caught Mitch in school for a couple of weeks, so I was actually being what would you call it, grounded for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And my father had got me a guitar, which I wasn't really interested in, but I said, feck it, I'd pick it up because I had nothing else to do. Couldn't go outside the door, so I kind of taught myself the basics, kind of 5 or 6 chords over the space of the 2 weeks, and then just started writing bits and pieces myself. So that's how the love of that kind of took off from there, you know.
So you turned negative into positive?
Yeah, well, you could say that, because after that then I lost complete interest in school, and then it was just music, so I don't know about that, but look, still, it was going good up to the COVID, like, you know, so yeah.
Talk to us about busking, because I always think it must take like some amount of courage to get out there, like, and just set up on your own and just go for it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I have huge respect and admiration for the guys that do it on a long-term basis and kind of a constant basis. Like, as I say, it's a long time now since I did it. But in saying that, we're hoping to get back at it this weekend. Myself and Billy are kind of take the show on the road, as we say, and kind of get out there on the streets to do just play some of the songs off the album and stuff, because obviously we don't have the bars like we would have had if, you know, we would have been obviously doing a big mad tour. But with that, we're still going to go to the bars. We have plans with a few of the bars, including here, where we're going to do an outdoor kind of show just for about 40 minutes, just to actually play the songs off the album, just give them some bit of a boost and get them out there, you know. So.
Well, I think it's great because, like, I'm from Galway originally, and, you know, you're going down the streets and there's always buskers dotted the way along, and there's something lovely about hearing live music outside. So
Absolutely,
I think it'd be great for Limerick.
I think it's a fantastic culture. You know, it just brings. I think music just brings happiness anyway, regardless. You know, it has the power to change people's moods and opinions very fast. You're feeling down, you hear a song you like, or the opposite. If you're feeling really happy, then you hear a song that brings back a memory. It's like, oh Jesus, you know. But yeah, no, absolutely.
And luckily, I suppose the weather is good, so hopefully that can happen. Like, so talk to us a bit about the whole COVID situation. Obviously, gigs are off, and you said now you have to improvise and find a new way to perform live. How has COVID been for you?
Well, as myself and thousands of others in the same boat as me, we're full-time musicians. Well, I was a full-time cover musician. You know, that's what I did. Was pubs, clubs. We have a wedding band, and obviously when the lockdown came down, everything was stopped. Everything across the board was stopped. Luckily enough, about 90% of our weddings we were able to accommodate the couples for next year for moving the dates. But as far as pub gigs were concerned, that was just gone, you know. But I was threatening for a while to just record one or two of my own songs. That's what I kind of wanted to do. I had a bit of trouble last year. I was kind of sick on and off. I had a lot of trouble with my lungs and stuff like that. So I had a bit of time off last year, and in November and stuff, after having 2 weeks off, I was kind of like, I need to get one or two of my own songs recorded. And I need to do it when I don't have 5 gigs in a week, so that my vocals are a little bit fresh, because I wanted it to be right. So I had tried to get onto a few different studios, and the thing was, I was kind of getting onto them on a Monday saying, can I come in Wednesday? And of course everyone were kind of booked up for a couple of weeks. So this kind of went on till around January. And for some reason I was going through stuff, and I found a message from Billy. Now, I knew Billy for years through the music scene and stuff, and we always kind of kept in contact. And I said, you know, why didn't I think of Billy? Because I knew he worked in the studio, because he lectures in media and sound production in Limerick Senior. So when I got on to Billy, he said, yeah, definitely come in, we'll do something. So originally we were to do one song, then he said we'll do two, because this single that now we're after releasing, we were actually recording another song, and while we were tuning up, and I started singing the single Love Breaks Lonely that we're releasing, and he was like, oh my God, we have to record that, that's really good. And then when we recorded that, he said, will we try and get an EP? And I was like, I'd never have 5 songs. And he was like, you will, we'll try. So of course I went home and up to the attic at home and found all the poems, because I was a demon in school. That's all I liked doing, was writing poems and music and stuff, and everything else was like off my head, you know. As you can tell, that's why I was busking and singing for a living. But yeah, as it went on, then we turned out we had 5 songs, and then I started back writing again back in April. We started in March, just before the lockdown. We got into Limerick Senior, and because of the lockdown, then we couldn't go into the actual studio anymore, so we had to go elsewhere. But yeah, as it turned out, we actually ended up with 15 or 16 songs. So
Wow.
It was a bit of a change, but it was kind of like I was finding poetry, and I was finding bits of songs, and I found an old dictaphone that I had recorded another song off the album Lullabies, and it was a real slow ballad, and Billy heard it, and he was kind of like, yeah, that's cool. He said, but it needs to be sped up about 10 times. So actually, the way he's laughing now, but I can't even see him, and I know he's laughing. But the way it came out was really cool, like, and it actually ended up really cool. And I'm just running away with this. You're not even asking me questions. I'm running away too much for you.
No, we started talking about the lockdown.
I just really know what I
No, but again, it's like showing that the lockdown was it was a tough time for everyone, but you managed to write 15 songs. So I mean, it's pretty good.
Well, I didn't. I mean, most of the songs. This song actually, "Love Breaks Lonely," the current release. I actually wrote that when I was only 17.
Wow.
So basically, that was just picking that back up and just kind of polishing it. You know, just obviously I know a little bit more about music now, so I was able to go a little bit, just polish it up, kind of clean it, tighten it up and stuff. And regards to lockdown, then of course we didn't have anywhere to actually record, so I came up with the idea that maybe I would ask the bars while they were closed, could we go in, just the two of us, and record each song, kind of, so we'd have a song synonymous with each bar.
Oh,
you know, so we came in here as well in the Glen Tavern here, and we done a day as well, and then Billy would do a promo video for each song we done. We would have clips of recording in the bar all day and stuff like that. Like, but it worked really well because it drew a lot of attention, and especially when things were locked down, excuse me, when things were locked down and no one was getting into bars, you know, we were in the bars and they were empty. But it showed another side of it as well, that the bars were in lockdown, that there was just nothing happening. They were just in darkness. Like, you know, to me that showed another side of this lockdown. You know, I think people take for granted how hard this industry has been hit and how hard my industry has been hit. I mean, my industry has been just completely wiped out, and no one seems to give a damn about it, as far as what I can see. Like, because I saw an article in the paper that musicians and entertainers, we are like number 99 on a list of 1 to 100 when it comes to jobs. You know, so which is kind of it's worrying to me, since that we do everyone's weddings, everyone's christenings, we do a lot of the stuff, a lot of the big events in people's lives, but I don't know, when it comes down to it, they don't. Obviously, we're not up there as much as we thought we were, you know. So
I think, though, there's definitely a big change in social media where artists are starting to kind of say, right, come on, you need to help us out and do something for us here. So hopefully now there's going to be a bit of a change. But I think once the doors can open again to any sort of venues, I think you're going to see everyone returning, because like even as a gig goer myself, it's like I'm crying out for live music. So I think that's what people really want.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that. Yeah. I'm really hoping it, because I knew when I've spoke to people, like, things weren't really great for the pubs before the lockdown. I think people are forgetting that. Like, we've been crying out for months before the lockdown, asking people to come out, and you know, there was kind of a culture of staying at home and drinking, and maybe coming out late, coming into the bars for maybe one drink, catching the last 10-15 minutes of a gig, and then they were going out to the nightclubs. You know, so like, I'm hoping that they might appreciate it a bit more, that they might come out to the bars a bit earlier. You know, when things come back, that they might come out and support the bars. I mean, like, coming into a bar like at 12 or 12:15 at night and having one round and then going away, like, that doesn't really help the bars. You know, especially when the likes of myself, when we're coming in, we're setting up at 9:30. We're not starting till 10:30, and we have no one in the bar maybe for the first hour, and it's, you know, it's kind of disheartening, and it's kind of I think as well, it's a false economy, because the bars are paying for live music, and sometimes I don't think it's even worth their while having it. And in my opinion, it's not really down to anymore who's playing. I think sometimes you could have U2 playing in a bar, if you had them, and you still wouldn't get a big turnout, because I still think, no, but I think people are stuck in their habits, and I think it's a younger kind of a culture as well coming up, that people will stay in the house parties. Even before COVID, people were meeting in the house. What's it called? Pre-drinks.
Prinking.
Okay, see?
Don't worry, we'll make sure to come out to the gigs when they're. Paul, now we did, of course, the reason we're talking here is the new single that you mentioned that you wrote initially when you're 17. So is there a plan for which single you want to release after this one?
Well, we went kind of ballad rock with the first one. The second song we're going to release is it's called Just Say the Word. It's a bit more rockier. A bit more. It's not total rock by any means, but we're hoping to release about 4 singles from the album. The album is being released the August weekend. We're releasing it, fingers crossed, all going well, everything's going well at the moment for us. August 1st it will be available in hard copy, and iTunes, Spotify, etc., stuff like that, you know.
Where can we find you on social media, actually, for anyone that wants to follow?
Social media, my alter ego, the Busker. You can get me on Facebook at the Busker, all block capitals. That's my fan page. You can find me on Instagram at dbusker, DBUSKER007. Yeah. You laugh, but you won't forget it either. That's the thing, right? Look at her, she's laughing, right? And then what else do I have? I have Snapchat, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, don't hide your surprise, okay? It's okay. I have Snapchat as well, which is the THE Busker.
Okay, perfect.
007, you know. So yeah, I'm down with the kids there. I have a few of them, you know. So I'm not too bad. But of course, my website then, because I only got a website the last couple of weeks, so I love showing off. It's www.paulfahymusic.com.
Perfect.
And I'm on YouTube as well.
Oh, geez,
I'm on YouTube for the last 2 or 3 weeks as well. Like, I've only waited 25 years to go be on YouTube, but I'm on YouTube now as well, you know. So that's just Paul Fahy Music as well, you know.
Paul, it was an absolute pleasure chatting to you, getting to know you and about your music. And we're going to play a little snippet of your brand new single now, but thank you so much for chatting to us on the Limerick Post Show.
Thanks very much. Thanks, Meghann.
Melissa says she's leaving him forever. I know she is not the kind of person who will take his heart before he gets a start.
much more, head over to limerickpost.ie/show. I'm Meghann Scully. This is the Limerick Post Show, keeping Limerick posted.